The NBA has its next big problem. The new sheriff down in Dallas, Cooper Flagg. Cooper has just won the closest Rookie of the Year award since 2003, breaking records left and right. 50-piece, everything. But what exactly makes Cooper Flagg different from every other hyped prospect the league has seen? It's not the athleticism, it's not even the scoring. It's the fact that at 19 years old, he already plays like he's been here before. But to understand why he's the NBA's next big problem, you need to understand just how dire the situation was in Dallas before he even suited up the jersey. Newport, Maine. Population 3,000. Not exactly a basketball hotbed. Other NBA players who grew up in Maine? Duncan Robinson. That's it. Cooper Flagg grew up here, the kid from the smallest town with the biggest ceiling anyone had seen in years. He won Maine's Gatorade Player of the Year as a freshman, won National High School Player of the Year, then 1 year at Duke, ACC Rookie of the Year, All-Defensive Team, National College Player of the Year, before declaring for the draft. That resume was stacked. The consensus #1 pick wasn't even a debate. Dallas won the lottery, and on draft night, the Mavericks thought they were getting a cornerstone piece to build around Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. That's not what happened. Kyrie went down with injury before the season even found its footing. Anthony Davis got traded to Washington. And suddenly, the entire franchise was sitting on the shoulders of a teenager who had never played an NBA minute in his life. Most rookies would have folded under the pressure. Cooper Flagg got to work. In Cooper Flagg's first game, when the whole world was watching him go head-to-head against a former #1 overall pick, Victor Wembanyama, well, he put up a stinker. 10 points and 30% shooting, and a box plus-minus of -29. The slump continued. His first 15 games? Rough. Averaged 15.5 points. Looked uncomfortable. No go-to moves. Buried under awful spacing and a roster full of non-shooters clogging the paint. Many people quickly jumped to the gun and called Coop the worst first overall pick since 2019. Well, except Reese Hache, of course. Most rookies would have stayed stuck there, clinged up to the noise. Flagg figured it out. Over his final 51 games, he averaged 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. He became the team's first option, second option, and third option every single night. And instead of shrinking under the weight of it, he expanded, flourished. 21 points, 6.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.2 steals, 0.9 blocks, every game as a starter for 70 games straight. And then the stretch run. Down the final 15 games with nothing to play for except pride, Flagg averaged over 25 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. He dropped 51 on Orlando, followed it up with 45 against the Lakers 2 days later. 96 points in 2 games, just to remind everyone what was coming. The league was starting to realize it had a problem on its hands, but it hasn't seen anything yet. Because everything you just saw, that's a 19-year-old carrying a broken roster with nobody around him. Now imagine what he does with actual help. Here's what makes Cooper Flagg genuinely terrifying to defend. He doesn't have one position. He doesn't have one role. He doesn't have one way to beat you. At 6 feet 9 inches with a 7-foot wingspan, he can guard 1 through 5 on any given possession. Switch onto a point guard, fine. Drop back on a center, fine. The lateral quickness to stay in front of guards, the length to contest at the rim, and his motor never stops. His defensive instincts are already elite. He can post up, pull up from mid-range, attack the rim off the dribble. He's making grown men look confused at 19 on a 26-win team. He led Dallas in points, rebounds, assists, and steals simultaneously. The only other rookie to do that since 1974? Michael Jordan. But here's the part that doesn't show up in any stat sheet. The part that actually separates good from great. Pressure. Most players crumble when the moment gets big. The lights get bright, the game is on the line, the defense doubles, and they fold. Look how he bounced back from his opening season slump. Look how he took the challenge of replacing Luka. Kyrie Irving said it best in a tribute video for Flagg at the end of this season. Pressure, a place where doubt lives and most fold. But you found peace there. And that's exactly what we saw all season. The youngest player in NBA history to score 50 points in a game, surpassing LeBron James for the most 40-point games as a teenager ever, leading his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals, simultaneously, on a roster that gave him nothing to work with. Every single one of those moments came when the pressure was highest, when the game was slipping, when Dallas needed a play and there was nobody else. He didn't shy away from those moments. He looked for them. That's a mentality you cannot coach, cannot draft, and cannot fake under a bright light. That's the last thing standing between a great player and an all-time one. And Cooper Flagg already has it at 19. He doesn't need perfect conditions. He creates them. But of course, in year one, there's so much you have to learn. This was his floor, his worst-case scenario. The version of Flagg playing through a full rebuild, absorbing losses he'd never experienced, carrying dead weight every single night. And he still won Rookie of the Year. But here's what's actually standing between Cooper Flagg and the conversation about the best players alive. Start with the three-point shot. He shot 42.5% at Duke, respectable. But in the NBA, there were stretches where defenses simply dared him to shoot from deep, and he went cold. Then there's shot selection. Flagg takes hard shots, really hard shots, mid-range pull-ups with a hand in his face, step-back threes with the shot clock winding down, isolation attempts when the ball movement breaks down. His free throw rate tells the same story. For a player of his caliber, he's not drawing enough fouls. Getting to the line more would ease the difficulty of his entire shot diet and open up the floor. That's the next unlock. As unethical hoops as it can be, he needs to learn to fish for those fouls, get easy buckets from the line. And then there's the roster problem. This season, Flagg was operating in one of the worst spacing environments in the entire league. Non-shooters everywhere, clogged paint every possession. He was brilliant in spite of it, but brilliance has a ceiling when the floor isn't spaced around you. Kyrie Irving coming back healthy changes that. A higher draft pick this summer changes that. But until Dallas actually builds the right pieces around him, there's a vision of Flagg that never fully gets to operate at his true ceiling. And finally, the ankle. He left the final game of the season early. For a player whose entire value is built on relentless motor, two-way versatility, and the ability to impose his will on both ends of the floor, health isn't just a concern. It's everything. Because the ceiling on Cooper Flagg, fully healthy, properly spaced, in a real playoff environment, is one of the highest this league has seen in a generation. His talent is undeniable. The pressure doesn't faze him. The mentality is already elite. The only thing that can stop Cooper Flagg right now is just himself. He's a kid who already broke records that belong to LeBron and Jordan. The scary part is, he's 19. Imagine what he does at 25. The NBA's biggest problem is a teenager. They just don't know it yet.